Hi, welcome back to Thrive in Recovery. This is week 4, physical health goals, and this is video 2 of that week. And today we're just going to be looking at why the human body is so important to take care of. So this is called the universe of your body. And I want to start off by saying that the human body is the most complex chemical manufacturer on the planet. It's kind of a bold statement, kind of like an odd statement, because we always think of manufacturers as big production, facilities, big buildings with lots of machines and all that kind of stuff. But once you see the deeper look we're going to take at the human body, you'll see that it is a chemical manufacturer, and it's responsible for thousands. And right here, the human body produces thousands of different chemicals, ranging from small molecules like neurotransmitters and hormones to complex proteins and enzymes. And we're going to look at the function of each one of these types of chemicals. So hormones, the body produces over 50 different hormones, which regulate various functions like growth, metabolism, mood, and stress responses. So right there you see the important role of your body creating these things, and how much of your life already is affected by that. Neurotransmitters. There are more than 100 known neurotransmitters involved in signaling within the nervous system, including serotonin, dopamine, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one. Enzymes and proteins. The human genome encodes around 20,000 to 25,000 genes, most of which produce unique proteins, including enzymes, which are essential for biochemical reactions. And I just want to state, obviously, I didn't go to school for this stuff. This is all just research done. And this is all just to educate you a little bit more and give you a different perspective about why you want to take care of your body, why it's so good for you to take on an exercise goal, and why it's so good to take on nutritional goals. Okay, chemical functions, metabolites, and biochemical compounds. Thousands of small molecules like amino acids, lipids, and sugars are involved in metabolism and cellular processes. Conclusion. While the total number is complex to estimate, the body's biochemical diversity is estimated in the thousands or tens of thousands when considering the unique roles each molecule plays in sustaining life. Now you got to ask yourself, how are these created? Where are these coming from? And there's all kinds of science that goes into that. I haven't even researched the nitty-gritty of how this even works, but there's one thing that I understood right off the bat, which is that to promote this kind of creation, you need to use physical exercise and what you consume into your body. The materials you're feeding your body to create this stuff, they got to be valuable and important. So how does exercise and nutrition affect chemical production? Exercise and nutrition significantly contribute to the production and regulation of many essential chemicals in the body. These chemicals are neurotransmitters. Exercise promotes the release of mood-enhancing neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins, which reduce stress and improve mood. And also keep in mind, a lot of these are released when you're using external drugs. Nutrition provides the amino acids like tryptophan and tyrosine needed as building blocks for neurotransmitters, helping regulate emotions and mental clarity. Hormones. Physical activity influences the release of hormones such as cortisol, adrenaline, and growth hormone, which are important for stress management, metabolism, and recovery. A balanced diet rich in nutrients, example, healthy fats for hormone synthesis, protein for growth hormone support, helps maintain optimal hormone levels, supporting energy, mood, and overall health, and which are things that we want to start getting good at managing. Enzymes and metabolites. Exercise increases the demand for enzymes involved in energy production and muscle repair, prompting the body to synthesize more of these enzymes for efficiency. Essential nutrients like vitamins and minerals, B vitamins, magnesium, obtained from food, act as cofactors for these enzymes, ensuring that metabolic reactions run smoothly. And it's okay if you don't understand some of this stuff. Some of this stuff goes over my head, but it's just good information to have. Antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. Both exercise and nutrient-dense foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, help produce and regulate antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, which protect cells from damage, reduce inflammation, and improve recovery. So what I would pay attention to when I'm going over this stuff is very, very basically, so both exercise and nutrient-dense foods help produce these chemicals and compounds that basically do these things. So reduce inflammation and improve recovery. And if I go back here, same kind of thing. Exercise increases the demand for enzymes for energy production, muscle repair, and essential nutrient like vitamins and minerals, ensuring that metabolic reactions run smoothly. And hormones, it's for supporting energy, mood, overall health, and physical activity influences these things to happen. That's basically the point of this. Conclusion: together, exercise and nutrition provide the raw materials, the stimulation, and environment necessary for the body to efficiently create, regulate, and balance the chemicals needed for physical and mental health. Now we're going to go over the connection between physical and mental health in recovery. Biochemical balance. Physical activity and good nutrition can increase the production of neurotransmitters like endorphins and serotonin, which improve mood and reduce anxiety and depression. Stress reduction and improved sleep. So regular exercise reduces cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and promotes better sleep quality, both of which are essential for mental well-being and emotional resilience. Enhanced cognitive function. Good physical health supports brain function, improving focus, memory, decision-making, basically clarity of mind, which can boost self-esteem and confidence and your ability to do what you want to do without being so all over the place mentally, and lead to better coping strategies in challenging situations. It makes it a lot easier to exercise the things that we've learned in this module so far, in this whole program. Basically, it makes it easier to challenge your mind. It makes it easier to be aware of your mind. It makes it easier to combat it by reframing things, and also managing your emotions, being aware of your emotions. You have a clear head. You notice you're triggered, and you're able to keep your calm and process that emotion. Healthy habits can positively impact stress and anxiety. So it regulates stress hormones, physical activity, and balanced nutrition, and adequate sleep help regulate cortisol and adrenaline levels, reducing the physical effects of stress and promoting calmness. Promotes relaxation and mental clarity. Habits like mindfulness, meditation, and regular exercise enhance relaxation and improve focus, making it easier to manage anxiety and stay grounded. Builds resilience and coping skills. Consistent healthy habits strengthen your mind and body, increasing resilience to stress and providing natural ways to cope with daily challenges and setbacks. Especially if you make yourself get up and run every day or every other day, and sometimes you don't even like it, you're not comfortable, but you're actually strengthening that will inside of you and that discipline inside of you that helps that bleeds over into other areas of your life. And another thing is that it honors your well-being by prioritizing physical health. Shows commitment to caring for yourself, recognizing that your body and mind deserve nourishment, rest, and attention. Honoring your body, taking care of your body, understanding the value of your body. If you went through a very rough detox, maybe you may understand the value of the body a little bit more. If you really wore yourself out or messed yourself up pretty bad, then you've probably understood the importance of honoring your body. It also builds a positive self-image. Engaging in healthy habits fosters a sense of pride and accomplishment, which naturally boosts your self-esteem, and it reinforces a positive self-image about yourself. Like I said before, this whole process of recovery is from going from one identity to a completely new identity. One with new thoughts, new behaviors, new self-images, new self-esteem, and physical health. Taking care of your exercise and eating properly will reconfirm that over time. When you start identifying as a person who does take care of themselves, a person who does watch what they eat, then you're changing and you're turning into somebody who does this type of thing, and you'll start identifying as that. It also sets a foundation for lasting health. Taking care of your body now demonstrates respect for your future self. Where do you want to be in the future? Do you want to be out of shape? Do you want to be short of breath? Do you want to be able to play with your family, with your friends, with your kids? Do you want to go on hikes and do fun things that you like to do? Or do you want to just be sitting down all day feeling like shit? Right? So, contributing to long-term physical and mental wellness that supports a fulfilling life. Wellness goals are essential in supporting long-term recovery and resilience. It creates a positive focus. Setting wellness goals provides structure and a positive direction, helping you replace old habits with healthy routines that reinforce your commitment to recovery. It builds self-efficacy. Achieving small wellness milestones boosts confidence and belief in your ability to make positive changes, which is crucial for resilience and long-term success. And here, when it says small wellness milestones, it means like, okay, I plan to work out 3 times a week for 30 minutes, whatever that workout is. And the first week, you work out all 3 days. That's a huge accomplishment. It's small on the long scale of things, but in the moment, achieving these types of wins will make you reaffirm that you can do it. You do got the power. You do got the free will to do these things. Even if you don't want to, sometimes you just go do it. And you start feeling better about yourself. It promotes balanced living. Wellness goals encourage a holistic approach to health, physically, mentally, emotionally, strengthening overall well-being and reducing the risk of relapse by building a foundation for a balanced, fulfilling life. It's one of the marks you've got too. Obviously, this is the big point I keep making, is it's one of the marks that you've got to cross off in your recovery if you want to thrive in recovery, because your body is responsible for such a huge part of your experience, such a huge part. And the way it feels and the way it's functioning is highly dependent off the way you treat it, the way you use it, and the way you feed it. So the coaching exercise today is called your ideal self, and we'll just go for in 20 years. So grab your journal. I'll do this exercise with you. So grab your journals. Let me grab my pen real quick. Okay, so ideal self in 20 years. So basically what I want you to do is in your journal, write ideal self in 20 years. And we're just going to write a few sentences down on exactly how we see ourselves, how we want to see ourselves in 12 years. What would our ideal self be? Not our current self right now in 20 years, but our ideal self. What do we want that to look like? So, start with your health, right? Are you active? Right? So I would say I'm very active. My ideal self is very active. Uh, and feels good. Do you feel good? Does your ideal self feel good? And feels great. Do you have good mobility? Are you able to, stretch or sit down in certain positions or play with your family? I'm very active with my family. Active with my family. I would love to be older and be active with my family still, like in full health. Are you sleeping good? Are you playing with your friends and family without getting tired? These are just a few questions to think about. You don't have to answer them. You could write your whole thing exactly how you see your ideal self. These are just ideas to get you thinking. So, are you doing active activities like biking, hiking, rock climbing? Yes. I go backpacking. My ideal self goes backpacking with family and friends. Is your body in less pain? Are you comfortable and at ease physically? I feel very comfortable. Comfortable. At ease with no pain. No pain. And if you want to take this a little further, are you making your loved ones laugh? Are you smiling with your loved ones? Do people confide in you? Do people come to you for comfort or advice? Are you wise in your older years? I'd like to be wise. Wise and comforting. Is your mind sharp? Are you intellectually sharp? Can you have, complex conversations, or can you have very witty, funny banter with your loved ones or your friends? Funny and thoughtful. Do people love being in your presence? You're very positive to be around and uplifting. Do you lift your loved ones up when they're feeling down, or your friends, or even strangers? When you bump into strangers, when your ideal self in 20 years bumps into strangers, do they smile? Do they share a quick laugh? So write this down. Be real creative. I'll give you a couple minutes to do this. Are you engaged in any like hardcore activities like scuba diving? This is your ideal self. So anything's possible. You got to just really like, who do you want to be in 20 years? This isn't so much a financially uh, or oriented exercise. This is more like physically, mentally, personality wise. Uh, how do you want people to know you? How do you want to express yourself? So let's do one more minute. And hopefully you're enjoying this exercise. It's fun to think about who we want to be. It's good to dream. It's good to use your imagination in a constructive way. As far as creating blueprints in your mind for who you want to be, how you want to be. So we'll finish writing up here. All right, I'll move on to the next slide. So now keep your journals open, okay? And underneath your definition and description of your ideal self in 20 years, we're going to answer some questions. I'm going to ask some questions and we're going to answer these questions underneath this. So what kind of values does your ideal self have towards their body? Not what are your values now towards your body, but looking at your ideal self, the person who wants to feel good, the person who wants to be active, and whatever else you wrote, what kind of values does your ideal self have towards their body? So for mine, it would be a kind of respect. Respect towards my body. Towards my body. Highly valued. And treated as such. So I wrote respect towards my body, highly valued and treated as such. Thankfulness. Gratitude. There's a gratitude towards the body. Right, so what are some values that your ideal self must have towards their body? For example, if they like to feel very comfortable and at ease with no pain, then they must in some way treat their body with a level of respect and compassion and care, commitment almost. Yeah, so a commitment to caring for the body. Right, because if they weren't committed to caring for the body, they'd probably be uncomfortable most of the time because they're not taking care of themselves. They'd probably be in pain because they're not stretching or working on mobility. They're just kind of stagnant all day, sitting down. So there's no commitment there. So hopefully you got a couple of values down. What your ideal self, how they value their body. What kind of the next question is, what kind of exercise habits will this ideal self have in order to follow and be able to do these things? What kind of exercise habits will this ideal self have to follow in order to be able to do these things? For example, if yours was, I like to go backpacking with family and friends, like I wrote down, one of the exercise habits that they would have to be following is some kind of walking or hiking exercise. Maybe it's just something like hiking once a week on Saturdays. They may hike once a week on Saturdays. Week on Saturdays. It's also very possible that during the work week, they find 20 to 30 minutes to go on a walk. A couple days a week. Yeah. Three times a week. So, if yours was rock climbing, and these are just ideas, hopefully you could figure this out. Kind of just imagine what their exercise routine would look like. So, if your ideal self is rock climbing, in order to be able to do that comfortably and be able to do it as recreation, they're not just jumping in there first time and they're done. Rock climbing is a skill that takes strength and skill, and it takes practice. So I would say if they're going on a rock climbing trip for recreation with their family or by themselves with their friends, then they're probably practicing in the gym maybe 3 times a week for like 30 minutes to an hour. And they've been doing this for 6 months to a year. So look at your physical definition of your ideal self, and just try to think what's at least one exercise habit that you would be having in order to be that person that you want to be, or your ideal self, right? Would you be going 3 times a week working on weight training? Would you be doing yoga every day for 20 minutes, except on the weekends, right? And been doing it for at least a couple of years. Would you be doing swimming at the gym or at the local pool or at your own pool? Would you be doing swimming exercises for an hour a day, 3 times a week? Would you, if you were mountain biking or you wanted to travel on a long trip on a bicycle, in order to prepare for that, your ideal self would have been probably bicycling at least 2-3 times a week for an hour for a year, right? Doing races. If you want to run a marathon, you probably started running. If your ideal self was running a marathon, you'd probably had started running a couple of years before that, at least 2 to 3 times a week for an hour or 30 minutes. And then maybe on Saturdays you would have run for a couple hours for at least a year. So really, and we're not writing these down to to all of a sudden give ourselves an exercise routine, because jumping into running every day for a year would be like way too much to take on. But we're just getting this down so we have an understanding as to if we want to become our ideal self with these high standards, with this quality of physical health and mental health, then we got to start working on it. And you start with small steps, small changes, small habits, which we'll go into in the next video, how to set up small goals. And I just want you to know that you can do it, and it will benefit your life dramatically. Taking care of your physical health will benefit your life dramatically, and it will give you the life that you want. It will start putting you in the shoes of the person you want to be, your ideal self. So lastly, let's just rate. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you say you are today in your life in comparison to your ideal self's exercise habits? And this isn't to make you feel bad. This is just to give you a starting point as to where you'd say you're at. And then we're going to move on to the next point in the next video, which is setting up small, achievable wins and proving to ourselves that we can do these things and we do have it in us to become the person we want to be. So I'm just going to say right now I'm about a 6. I exercise. I've only been exercising these last few months, only on the weekends or maybe one day out of the week. And it's really not too much. It's a little bit of weightlifting and a little bit of cardio on the bicycle. So to get where I want to be, I think I got to pick it up a little bit. But just keeping these healthy habits I have now will at least keep me moving towards my ideal self, where I want to be. So yeah, rate where you're at. You know, are you at a 3? Are you at a 4? Maybe you're at a 2. Maybe you have no exercise habits whatsoever, and that's okay because we're going to get into that into the next module. In the next module, we will create an action plan and go over how to support it and follow it through. So as always, guys, celebrate yourself. Good job on reflecting on your ideal self. Good job on figuring out who you want to be and what kind of physical health goals you're going to need to develop. And you're at the beginning of crafting your person, who you're going to become. And as always, you're taking the time to invest in yourself. Everything learned is a win. Even if it was just one thing today, it's a win. Anything applied is a win. Anything practiced is a win. You will gain the positive changes in your life, and so will your loved ones. And as always, remember to take your time. This isn't a race. This is a lifestyle. And I'll see you in the next video and in the community.